Welcome to Tainter Mouse Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp. Today we're looking at Imperius from Kolossal Games. Imperius is a 2 to 4 player game from Kolossal Games. It plays in about 20 to 40 minutes. It's got some card drafting, some card playing. In the game, you are powerful houses, trying to use your strength in your favor to vie for the crown. Let's look at the prototype components. At the beginning of the game, players choose a house and take the appropriate tokens. Chosen house Ashnan here, and there's also a skull token that goes at the very bottom here. And you could actually lose victory points throughout the game. We'll get to that in a minute. And then a first player is chosen. And this is the scoreboard over here. We have 4 planets lined up. And we will be playing cards to these planets. The deck is seeded with 6 cards of each house in the deck and some event cards. Those cards are shuffled, and then we give out, in a 4-player game, you give out 5 cards to each player. And then you give those cards to the player. The rest of the deck is off to the side. And each player then chooses one of those cards. They pass those cards, after they've chosen one, they pass the cards to the player in clockwise order until they get 4 cards. Now, there should be 5 cards left over, or 4 cards left over. And then the first player takes those the last 4 cards, and they shuffle them, and then they deal them out one at a time, face up, to each of these planets in a random order. Then, starting with the first player, they take one of their cards and they play it either face down or face up to one of these planets. Now, the rules are a planet can never have more than 2 face-down cards and never more than 5 cards total. So the players will continue to do that, and they'll be placing cards in turn order, face up and face down, until there's no more cards in the player's hands. Then players will reveal. Let me just give you an example here. Let's pretend there was 2 face down and 3 face up, which would be 5, which would be fine. Then the players all reveal. Let me just put these out here just to show you. 2, 2, and put some more out here. All right. Okay, then from planet 2 all the way to planet 5, you actually reveal those cards and you resolve them. I'm just going to resolve this last one here. And you'll notice in the top left-hand corner of the card that there is a number. That's the initiative order. So we'd actually go initiative from lowest to highest. And you'll notice that each card at the very bottom tells you what house it's a part of. So some of these will match and some of them won't. So here's house Ashnan has, let's keep them in order here. House Ashnan has the 0, the 6, or the 0, the 4, and the 7 here. And the other numbers show the strength of the card and the favor of the card. So for instance, we would say here, the Royal Guard can protect a noble. There is no other Jerkai to protect, but it could help them with some of their strength and favor. But there is no other card in here, so that's kind of a pointless card in this for this planet. Now, we see here that this Royal Guard, can protect this noble because there's an assassin right here. So the assassin would normally assassinate this noble, and the house would lose a point. But we want this noble to stay because he's going to score victory points on this planet, because this planet is worth 5 victory points for this player if he's got enough favor. So he does have enough favor. So the royal guard will protect the noble. He does lose a victory point still, but the assassin is not successful, and it does not get the points at all. And this ambassador, if they had the most favor, then they would score 3 victory points, and he does. This is all House Ashdown, which is great. So he's going to score 3 victory points and the victory points from the planet. So he's going to score 3 plus the 5 because he had the most favor. This guy didn't have any. He had 0 favor. So he gets 8 points. So you would score each of these planets in order, and you can see how the initiative does work on that. Play continues round by round until a player reaches 20 points, and then the round ends and the game ends. Now there's other ways of getting points. Let me see if I can find an example here. Yeah, here's a good one. The commander can get victory points and place a control token on a planet, and the control tokens are important for the end of the game. We'll get to that in just a second. But if this house, Zathmir, had enough strength on this planet, he would score 2 victory points and place a control marker, and we'll just pretend that he did, and he's going to, it shows you what house he is, so he has the blue house, and he places a control token on that planet. So at the end of the game, players look at their control tokens that they placed on these planets, and we're just going to randomly place them out here. So at the end of the game, whoever has the most tokens on each of these planets is going to score the planet points. So blue has the most. There is no one going against him. So he gets 2 victory points. And he's also going to get a victory point because he has a control token, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. This planet, they are all the same. So because they're tied, no one gets the planet points for this one. This guy gets 4 points, and then blue has 2 versus the one black here, so he's going to get 5 points. But players also will get points for having control tokens. So 1 point for each control token. So blue would get 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Black would get 2, and red, orange, red would get 2 as well. So there's ways not only to get points during the game, but also at the end of the game with controlling the planets and having control markers as well. Also, players look at their house card and look at the number of victory points they lose. They subtract that number of points from their total score, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. So that was a quick overview of the game. And it may even take you a round of play to even wrap your mind around how this game works, because as you're drafting these cards, you may not see your house cards that you actually need to play on the planets to get points, but that's okay. You'll see those cards in later rounds. And playing those cards and getting the right cards is important, because as you're playing them, you're trying to figure out how to maximize your strength in your favor. Do you all build up onto one planet and trying to get lots of points, or do you go and try and spread your strength and favor out, or do you go to the higher planets and try and get those, the bigger points, or do you try and get more points at the lower planets? So really trying to understand how that works and reading your players is important in Imperius. These event cards can really help you as well. Like this one is Infiltrate. If you have the most favor on the planet, you can actually place a control token on the planet. So another way of getting control markers, here's if you have the most strength. And this one basically lets you deny players from having cards after this card. So even though it's a high initiative number, any cards after that, any higher cards, wouldn't even take effect, which is great. The art on this game is really, really good. I like how the banners show the different houses and shows you what the token is, and even the backgrounds of these cards show the different houses. So you can see the backgrounds of these cards have the banners and the icons there. There's the blue, pretty cool, and very sci-fi space looking. The event cards, of course. There's the snake. They did a great job. Even the scoreboard has that space theme. So I think the Kolossal Games did a great job I think they hit it out of the park with the art, and the planets too, just really cool to look at. I like how when you're playing those cards, some of them are face down, some of them are face up. And that adds some mystery to the game, so they're not everything is known through the round. And then at the end of the round, they're all faced up, and then the initiative order comes into effect, and you might think, I'm going to get major points because of this. But there was a higher initiative, and there was a lower initiative card that basically nullifies your card. So you have to be careful of those. I also like the game comes with other elder cards that you can add to the game and replace the base elder cards. The base elder cards, they don't have any special powers, but there are other elder cards that you can add into the game, like the Elder of Secrets. When deployed by Ashnod, examine any 2 face down cards in any plans. That's great because that can give you more information as you're doing that. Also, there's other event cards that you can add into the game, and you can replace the planets. Here's an example of one planet that after a control token is placed on a planet, the corresponding faction gains a victory point. So another way of getting victory points in the game. So I like how the favor works, the strength works. I like how the different ways of getting those victory points work. So if you enjoy this type of game where you're drafting cards and the mechanic of maybe not seeing all your specific house cards in the game, then you should check out Imperius by Kolossal Games, coming to Kickstarter soon. House cards. You may not even see one of your house